Welcome to Farming Aid.
If you are raising chickens for meat or eggs, feed is where most of your money goes. In fact, it is usually the single biggest expense on any poultry farm. So when profits feel tight or results are not matching your expectations, the problem is often hiding in the feed system. The hard truth is this: many chicken farmers are losing money every single day, not because they are lazy or careless, but because of small feeding mistakes that quietly destroy efficiency. In this video, we are going to uncover 5 costly feeding mistakes that many chicken farmers make without realizing it. These are practical, real-world issues that affect both small backyard operations and large commercial farms. If you want better growth, stronger egg production, healthier birds, and most importantly better profit margins, then you need to pay close attention. Because once you fix these feeding mistakes, you stop losing money and start running your poultry farm like a business built to win. The first mistake is feeding the wrong ration for the bird's age and purpose. Not all chickens have the same nutritional needs. A broiler chick in its first week requires very high protein and precise amino acid balance to build muscle and support immune development. A layer pullet preparing to start laying needs a different balance, especially in calcium and energy. A mature laying hen requires even more calcium for eggshell formation, but not excessive protein that simply becomes expensive waste. Yet many farmers try to simplify feeding by using one general ration for too long. They may extend starter feed beyond the correct phase, or delay switching to finisher feed, or keep layers on grower feed because it is cheaper per bag. The result is poor feed conversion, weak shell quality, slow growth, and uneven flock performance. When birds receive too little of a critical nutrient, their growth slows or egg production drops. When they receive too much, the excess is simply excreted. That means you are literally throwing money into manure. Overfeeding protein is one of the most common errors. Protein is expensive. If your ration contains more protein than the birds can use, the extra nitrogen is excreted, increasing ammonia levels in the house. That ammonia then stresses the birds' respiratory systems, reduces performance, and increases disease risk. So you lose money on feed and then lose more on health problems. Proper phase feeding, aligned with the bird's age and production stage, keeps nutrients precise and prevents waste. The second costly mistake is ignoring feed quality and storage conditions. Many farmers focus only on the price per bag. If one supplier offers feed that is slightly cheaper, they switch without asking deeper questions. But feed quality is not just about crude protein on the label. It is about ingredient freshness, proper grinding, accurate mixing, absence of toxins, and safe storage before it even reaches your farm. Once the feed arrives, how you store it matters just as much. Moisture is the enemy. In humid environments, poorly sealed bags or open storage rooms invite mold growth. Mold can produce mycotoxins, which are silent profit killers. Birds consuming feed contaminated with mycotoxins may show vague signs at first. Reduced appetite. Slight drop in growth. Lower egg production. Increased susceptibility to disease. Sometimes there are no obvious signs at all, just disappointing performance numbers. Farmers often respond by increasing medication or adding supplements, not realizing the root cause is compromised feed. In severe cases, liver damage and higher mortality follow. All because of feed that was either low quality from the start or stored improperly on the farm. Rodent contamination is another hidden issue. Rats and mice not only eat feed, increasing direct losses, but they contaminate what remains with droppings and urine. This spreads disease and reduces feed safety. If you see torn bags or small feed spills near storage, assume that more damage is happening at night. Investing in dry, well-ventilated, rodent-proof storage can feel like an extra cost. In reality, it protects the most expensive input on your farm. The third major feeding mistake is allowing excessive feed wastage in the house. It is shocking how much feed ends up on the floor instead of inside birds. Overfilled feeders are a common problem. Farmers sometimes believe that keeping feeders full to the top ensures birds never run out. But chickens scratch. They peck. They flick feed aside while searching for preferred particles. If feeders are too full, a significant portion spills onto the litter. Once on the floor, feed mixes with manure and bedding and becomes unusable. Improper feeder height also contributes to waste. Feeders placed too low allow birds to rake feed out easily. Ideally, the lip of the feeder should be level with the bird's back height. This positioning encourages them to eat without excessive scratching. The design of the feeder matters as well. Poorly designed troughs or broken pans allow feed to spill during normal movement. Even small daily losses add up dramatically over thousands of birds and several weeks. Feed form plays a role here too. Finely ground mash tends to be wasted more than well-formed pellets or crumbles. Birds prefer larger particles and may sort through mash, tossing aside what they do not want. This sorting behavior not only increases waste but also causes nutrient imbalance. The birds may consume more energy-rich components and leave behind mineral and vitamin-rich fine particles. Over time, this selective feeding reduces performance and creates health issues. Monitoring how much feed is actually being consumed versus how much is being delivered can reveal surprising losses. Regularly checking litter for visible feed particles is a simple but powerful habit. The fourth costly mistake is failing to monitor feed conversion ratio and daily intake closely. Many small and medium-scale farmers rely on visual judgment. If birds look healthy and active, they assume feeding is on track. But poultry is a numbers game. Feed conversion ratio, which measures how many kilograms of feed are required to produce 1 kilogram of weight gain in broilers, or how much feed is required per dozen eggs in layers, is one of the clearest indicators of efficiency. If your feed conversion starts creeping up, it means you are using more feed to achieve the same output. That directly reduces profit. Without consistent record keeping, these changes go unnoticed. Suppose your broiler flock should average a feed conversion ratio of 1.7, but you are operating at 1.9. That difference may seem small. Yet across thousands of birds, it translates into tons of extra feed consumed. That is pure cost. The causes could be subtle. Slight nutrient imbalance. Poor water quality. Heat stress. Disease pressure. Low quality ingredients. But if you are not measuring intake and weight gain weekly, you cannot identify problems early. Layer farmers face similar issues. If hens are consuming more feed than expected but egg production is not increasing proportionally, profitability declines. Tracking daily egg counts, feed usage, and body weight trends helps you adjust rations, lighting, or management before losses compound. Precision feeding is not only for large commercial integrators. Even smaller operations can use simple spreadsheets or notebooks to track performance. The key is discipline. Numbers tell the truth when our eyes cannot. The fifth and often underestimated feeding mistake is neglecting water quality and its relationship to feed efficiency. Water is the most ignored nutrient in poultry production. Birds consume nearly twice as much water as feed by weight. If water is dirty, contaminated, too warm, or insufficiently available, feed intake drops or becomes inefficient. Chickens will not eat well if they cannot drink properly. Even mild dehydration reduces growth and egg production. Dirty drinkers allow bacteria to multiply. Biofilm can build up inside water lines in larger systems. This invisible layer harbors pathogens that continuously challenge the bird's immune systems. When immune systems are stressed, more nutrients are diverted from growth and egg production toward fighting infection. Again, feed is being consumed, but not converted efficiently into saleable product. Regular cleaning of drinkers and periodic flushing of water lines is not optional. It directly influences how effectively feed is used. Water temperature also matters. In hot climates, very warm water discourages intake. Birds reduce both water and feed consumption, slowing growth. Providing cool, clean water during heat stress helps maintain appetite and stabilize performance. Electrolytes may be helpful during extreme conditions, but they cannot compensate for poor basic water management. When water flow rates are too low, timid birds may not get enough access, leading to uneven growth within the flock. Uniformity suffers, and marketing becomes less efficient. Beyond these 5 core mistakes, there is a broader mindset issue that drives feed losses. Many farmers see feed as a fixed cost rather than a controllable variable. They negotiate price aggressively but neglect management details that influence how that feed is utilized. True profitability does not come only from buying cheaper feed. It comes from maximizing how much of that feed becomes meat or eggs. That means focusing on precision, storage, monitoring, and environment. Environmental stress is deeply connected to feeding efficiency. High temperatures increase maintenance energy requirements. Birds eat less in extreme heat, yet they need nutrients to maintain body functions. When you correct the wrong ration for each growth stage, protect feed quality, reduce waste at the feeder level, track feed conversion carefully, and take water management seriously, everything changes. Birds grow more evenly. Layers produce more consistently. Mortality drops. Feed conversion improves. And suddenly the same number of bags produces more meat or more eggs. That is not luck. That is management. The good news is that these costly feeding mistakes are completely fixable. You do not need a massive budget or high-tech equipment to improve. You need awareness, discipline, and consistency. Start paying attention to where feed is being lost, misused, or underperforming. Tighten those weak points one by one. Over time, those small improvements compound into serious financial gains. If this video helped you see your feeding program differently, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your experience in the comments. Let me know which feeding mistake you have seen the most on farms around you. The more we learn from each other, the stronger and more profitable our poultry businesses become.